How's it going, guys? I'm your host Korban Gaming. Welcome back to this week's Adventure Quest release video. And actually the release did come out right before I went to sleep yesterday night, but it was like super late. It was like 1-2 a.m. My time, and if I had made the video last night, then that would have meant that I will only be able to go to sleep at maybe at around 4 a.m. after all the editing and whatnot. So yeah, that's why this video is only coming out at this time. Sorry guys for the long wait, and I know everybody is like super excited, super anticipating the new stat changes, and I'm going to go through what has happened so far. Alright, I'm going to give you guys updates based off what the staff has said, for those of you guys who are not on Discord or not on the forum, so that you guys know what is going on. Okay, so the staff, first of all, this was from Cray on the forums, okay. The staff does not have time to implement everything, so they are going to have to take another week to go ahead and implement all the changes. That means that next week's release, there isn't going to be any release. They are just going to take the extra time needed to go ahead and push out the rest of the stat revamps and changes. Now, that being said, what do I feel about this? I think this is very good, in my opinion, because it shows that, number one, the staff is really taking all our feedback very seriously, and two, it shows that they are trying to be very cautious when it comes to what they want to implement inside of the game, because there's been a lot of back and forth both on the Discord as well as the forums and even on the Reddit to a certain extent. A lot of different feedback from a lot of different players, and of course the staff wants to make sure that they get this right. Like, I think that they've been getting quite a lot of flack recently from myself as well, regarding, you know, the way they balance things and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why people are so uptight over this is because we care, we love the game, and we don't want it to die or for it to become an unplayable state. So I guess it's nice to see that the staff wants to take the extra time to do things right, and hopefully when all the changes are finalized and when everything else comes out, everything is perfect. I'm not saying it will be perfect, but hopefully it is a solution that pleases both sides of the player base. Now, I'm more on the side of not wanting to, you know, nerf too many things, or at least don't be too heavy-handed on the nerfs. And of course, there are people on the other side who are like, nerf everything that is, you know, not mathematically balanced, not following certain standards needs to be nerfed, okay? So yeah, these two sides are kind of in conflict right now, and I hope that the staff takes into considerations from both sides and comes up with a compromise for both sides, so that everyone is still able to enjoy the game that we've come to love for so many years. Okay, so for this week's changes, I'm only going to go through what has been changed so far. I am not going to be going through the plans and the unconfirmed or unfinalized changes, or basically changes that have not happened yet. Okay, so I'm only going to give my review as well on what has been changed so far. Changes to the stat trainer. So I'll show you guys right now. It's a completely revamped UI. Removal of all required battles for training and untraining, which means you no longer need to go to the untrainer to untrain. You no longer need to fight so I forgot what's the name. You no longer need to fight Battleon the mage and like Grimwell the warrior to go ahead and train up your stats. This is very good because it's a nice quality of life change for all players, regardless of whether you're a free-to-play player or pay-to-win player. Stat training in the past, before you had the estate trainers, were a huge pain. Like, they take so long to train and you have to fight the battle so many times. Like, it was just ridiculous. Right now you can train and untrain in like a matter of seconds, and I think that is very good. Removal of Z token option. Training and untraining will be gold only. This has always been an option since the beginning of the game, to allow you to pay for training in Z tokens, though I am not sure if anybody actually uses that option at all, because it makes literally 0 cents to be paying for your training in Z tokens when gold is like so much easier to get, right? And next up, players will be able to train as many points as they want at a time in battle, limited only by their available funds and stat points. Okay, I'll showcase this a bit later. Untraining in Battleon resets all stat points for a fee, and untraining options for estate trainer will remain the same. The ability to untrain as many stat points as needed for free, along with discounted training. Now, okay, along with this Revamp UI, of course, the biggest impact is to the estate trainers. And why is this important? It's because the estate trainers are a premium item. They cost Z tokens. Okay, I'll show you guys here.
So yeah, this causes Z tokens to buy. I think it's 2,500 tokens if I'm not mistaken for this one and this one. So if you buy 2 of them, it's a total of 5,000 tokens. And yeah, it's not something that you obviously want to buy anymore. Okay, I will reserve my judgment for this because I think they still have plans on how to revamp this to make it worth the 2,500 tokens. Right now, there is absolutely no reason at all to buy the estate trainer. So until they get a change, for now, I would say do not ever buy this if you don't already have it. For me, I already have it, so you know I'm just going to keep it there. I hope that they change it soon so that at least it gives people more reason to go ahead and buy the item. You know what I'm saying? Like, one change that I proposed was to make stat training and untraining completely free using the estate trainers. That's a bit more reason than like a pathetic 25% discount cost, right? Like, why would you pay 2,500 tokens for an item that you still have to spend more estate resources and a lot more time to level up just to get a measly 25% discount in gold training? Like, that makes no sense at all. 25% discount in gold training is absolutely insignificant at the higher levels. Of course, even 100% paying for the training 100% gold, it's completely insignificant at max level. So this is not even such a like good reason in the first place if you're just buying it for the discounts. Like the main reason why people buy this is because of how convenient it is to train and untrain. But now because of the change to the trainers, okay, everybody can retrain their stats in a matter of seconds. This building is essentially useless. I hope they come up with a good idea on how to like fix this or make this worth it in the future, so that you know there's still a reason to buy this apart from, you know, just bragging rights and showing off that you have all these Z token and estate items. Okay, next up, you guys can see here, yeah, this is new. Okay, I personally do not like this. I think it's quite ugly. No offense to whoever designed this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think it's just not my thing, you know, like the squarish thing. Like, I prefer the old one. Yeah, that would have been a lot nicer. And you can see how it works here. Look here, if I click on this, okay, it doesn't do a lot of pop-ups. Okay, maybe the battle log it does. Okay, another thing here, battle log. Okay, so you can see quite a few new options here, 2 actually. First, we have the battle log, which I'll go through in more detail later. Second is music. Guys, I've been asking for music for a super duper long time in the game. So right now, if you turn it on, it just automatically turns off. Okay, but obviously this is just a placeholder. They haven't implemented anything yet. But the fact that they added this button, this is great news. It means that there is a good chance that we'll be seeing or hearing music in quests in the future. Finally, guys. Like, finally. After so long, I've been asking for this for like so many years. They finally decided to implement it, and I think this will really help in AQ's storytelling and probably compel more people to want to read through AQ's story rather than skip through it. I know AQ has a lot of players who don't read the story at all. They just want to go through the quest and, you know, just have fun with the equipment. But yeah, I think this will really improve the quality of AQ storytelling, similar to Dragon Fable. And you know, AE already has a bunch of fantastic tracks that they can use. They don't need to make any tracks of their own. Like, AE has so many good music tracks. Just add any one of them into like a quest and chef's kiss, you know what I'm saying? Alright, now battle log. Okay, so here you can change the battle log font size. The default is 15. I'm going to keep it at 15, and this is what you see here. Yeah, so if I attack, and then you can also drag this to like expand it. This is to hide. Wait, this is to clear everything. Yeah, this is to clear everything. This is not scrollable, by the way. And this is to like minimize the thing. Okay, I kind of wish like this was the minimize button instead of the circle, because like normal Windows buttons, this one line means minimize, right? But here it's to clear everything, so I wish they kind of can switch the functions around so it's a little bit less confusing. And why is this not scrollable? Like, make it scrollable so we can see what happens on the previous turns. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Also, I personally feel that this battle log, it is super ugly. Just like the new dialogue box. Like, Oh man, it is so ugly. Like, come on. So you can see here. Yeah, this thing now goes down like that. It's good that you can see more stuff as opposed to the old one, whereby the newer text will just overwrite the old text. And if you missed out on the old text, then, you know, too bad for you. But this new one though, I just don't like it. I don't like the design of it. Now this Battleon, I would say they are basically trying to do what Dragon Faber did when right before Dragon Faber implemented this. I think they could make this look a little bit nicer. Like, Dragon Faber has a way of making things look nice. Like, the Battleon in Dragon Faber is not super intrusive, and it looks, I don't know how to say, elegant? Yeah, elegant. Okay, this one on the other hand, it just looks like it was shoved in there for the sake of being shoved in there. Like, ew. Okay, so yeah, personally, I am not a huge fan of this. And look what happens when I flee here. Okay, when I heal, boom. This entire lot gets spammed with this thing. Like, why? Why? I don't get it. Remove that, please. And I also propose a suggestion. There are also a lot of other good suggestions, by the way, on how to improve the Battleon. You guys can go ahead and check out the thread in the forums. Okay, I think a lot of people came out with good suggestions on how to improve this. My own personal suggestion was that we can see the difference between a lucky strike and a non-lucky strike. Like, the game actually points it out so that it's obvious when you get a lucky strike, or like when, if you, like, you know, you're not looking or not paying attention and then you get a lucky strike, it wouldn't show any different from normal damage. Okay, other people, among other suggestions, good suggestions that I've seen is differentiating like burn damage, bleed damage, all that kind of stuff. I think that'll be good also. So yeah, for now I don't want to use this because it is just so ugly in my opinion that I don't even want to look at it. Alright, now on to the main part of today's change, which is the stat revamp. Okay, so what do I think so far for everything? Now dexterity is no longer tied to BTH, instead it's split among the 3 main stats. So regards to whichever stat you're using, the BTH now all goes into that stat. So if you're using magic attacks, your BTH will only come from intellect. Okay, will mainly come from intellect, sorry. Okay, if you're using range, then most of your BTH is gonna come from dex. If you're using melee weapons, then most of your BTH is going to come from strength. There's also a little bit from luck. Okay, I think that's fine, and I think this is a good change because I do personally feel BTH being tied to dex is a bit, it makes dex a bit too necessary for all builds if they want to actually hit something. So I think this is a nice change. Next change, ranged weapons no longer use strength for damage. I think this is good because it gives ranger an identity, and a huge part of this stat revamp is to give rangers their own identity. Okay, rangers has been a neglected build for quite a long time, and of course there's been a lot of memeing, especially from myself as well, about whether rangers actually exist in the game. Defensive rangers do, but offensive rangers are literally non-existent. Okay, so now I think they are trying to flesh out the ranger build a lot more, and of course with their intent to introduce a tier 1 ranger class, we can see that rangers are really getting quite a lot of love this year, and I think it's good to help rangers flesh out into a good identity. Right now they're still thinking of how they want to do dexterity, because strength, it's consistent damage, whereas intellect, it's burst damage, and then your damage falls down quite steeply after your initial burst. For dexterity, people are thinking of ramping damage. That's why I think also, like, let rangers play around with status effects, burns, bleeds, all that, and then the damage slowly ramps up over time until it eventually plateaus. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for strength, it'll be a straight line. For damage, consistency. Dexterity, I ideally would like to see as like a ramping slope, upward slope. Okay, intellect will be it'll start from the top and then it'll drop down, so it's like a downward slope. Okay, and then of course it will plateau at the bottom, whereas dexterity is like the opposite of intellect, it will plateau at the top. Okay. Excuse me. Next, initiative. This one, like, it's already in the text here, but I think they haven't implemented this, so I'm not gonna go through that. Okay, blocking, this one is not implemented yet, so I won't go through that. All weapon attacks gain strength over 160 to damage. Roughly a 2.5% melee damage boost. Do I think this is good? Like, sure, it's a small buff that strength needs. Doesn't make strength overpower at all, but at the same time, I am also
questioning the usefulness of that. Like, how much is 2.5%? Is it even significant in terms of real damage numbers? I don't know what the math is. Like, is it 5 damage? Is it 10 damage? Is it 100 damage? I don't know how much is 2.5% in melee, but to me the numbers seem a bit small. I know that they don't want to like over buff it too much and then having to tone it down again later, but 2.5% doesn't seem very significant in my opinion. Okay. Endurance over 50 status resistance. So they did give Endurance quite a bit of buffs. I think this is great because Endurance for a long time nobody's really using except for Backlash builds. Okay, this means that there's a lot more reason to use Endurance right now, even if you're not a Backlash build. Okay, giving you status resistance is good because it means that you can resist stuns, you can resist burns, you can resist bleeds, all that kind of stuff from monsters, any negative status effect. So I think this is a good change. Increase percentage to healing. Okay, so at 250 endurance, you're basically getting 12.5% extra HP healing. Okay, this one applies to any healing spells or skills. I don't know if it applies to potions. I think it also applies to potions. So when you already have that much HP, is the extra healing really necessary? I would say probably no in like a practical standpoint, but from a lore standpoint it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just that when you already have so much extra HP from endurance, how often are you going to be healing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense lore wise, but in terms of practical usage, you're already getting a boost to your HP from the points that you put into endurance. So are you really going to be healing that often? I don't know, maybe you're facing a monster that hits very hard, like my previous adventure quest video, the stupid samurai warlock, hitting for like 500 to 600 over damage at level, even at 13% light resistance. That was crazy. So maybe for monsters like that, this might come in handy, but how often do we see monsters like that in the game, right? So yeah, these are all my thoughts on the confirmed stat changes so far. I'm not going to go through all the different ideas that was proposed and anything else that is not in the game yet, because all of that is still up on the table as the staff are still reading through our feedback. I'm sure they are still thinking on what is good to add to the game, what is good to not add to the game. So if you guys want to read through all of the suggestions, all of the feedback that's been given and what I think, okay, my own personal suggestions for improvement, you guys can go ahead, hop on to the Battleon forums, and there is a thread there, stats, overhaul stuff. Okay, you guys can go ahead and look into that thread, read through all the suggestions, you know, maybe give some of your own if you have good ideas, and hopefully the staff will implement something that pleases everyone. Okay, so that's my thoughts on the stat training. Okay, and whatever I've said today is everything that has been confirmed and already added to the game. Does it mean that they won't train it anymore? That they won't change it anymore? I don't know. They might still change it in the future. So that is still, I would say it's still up on the table. I don't really think it is 100% finalized yet. Okay, especially if they are going to make even more changes to the stats with next week's release. So that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you guys would like to see more of such future content. Till the next time, I'm your host, Korriban Gaming. Peace out.